Please stand for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening to our final trustee meeting for the year 2022. My name is Don Keefe. I'm president this year. To my left is Vice President George Kiko, and to his left is Trustee Jennifer Kiko.
I want to check.
Throw it at me. I did it again. Because there is.
Okay.
Our fire chief Rich Peterson is here. Road superintendent Jamie May, also zoning inspector Jeff Shipman, and our fiscal officer Mr. Todd Bosley. Rich, tell us about the ship.
Just want to let you know the chassis has arrived for the new ambulance. It's our shown. We went and inspected it, met all the specifications that we required, and we just need a resolution to approve to ship it to the Lifeline Emergency Vehicles in Sumner, Iowa, at a cost of $1,869.16.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes. On the road.
First, a resolution to approve the December 8th, 2022 road report.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes. Okay, thanks, Jamie. On to Todd, fiscal officer, who has a load of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm going to consolidate some of this. Number 2, approve the minutes for the November 10th, 2022 trustees meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Number 3, approve the minutes for the November 22nd, 2022 special meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Number 4, approve payment to Huntington National Bank for October service charges in the amount of $280.95.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Before I move on, I'm hoping that this coming year we can look at those charges. I put them on the agenda just so the board's aware of them.
Yeah.
But I think they are kind of high, and we either need to negotiate with Huntington or we need to find a new bank
Okay.
for the balances that we carry. Okay, number 5, approve the payment to the Ohio EPA in the amount of $1,200 for the annual discharge fee.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Number 6, approve payment to Ohio Billing for November monthly fees in the amount of $2,376.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes.
Yes.
Number 7, approve payment to the Auditor of the State for first quarter 2023 UAN fees in the amount of $948.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Number 8, approve payment to Bureau Workers' Compensation in the amount of $11,402 for the January 1st through January 1st of 2024 for 1-year installment.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Number 9, approve assessment for the 5138 Ford Street Northeast basement fill and grade to be assessed by the Stark County Auditor for parcel number 33-01840, an assessment in the amount of $2,500 plus fees of $250.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Motion and second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George? Yes. Don?
Yes.
And Todd, do you file that then with the auditor?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, number 10 is going to encompass all of the transfers, so I approve and amend appropriations from one account to another within the fund as presented.
Motion to approve?
Second?
You have a motion and second. Voting, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks, Todd.
You're welcome.
Concerns of the citizens. Donna Fuller, you're up to bat.
It's okay to approve them that way, right, Jim?
Sure,
Yeah.
no problem with that.
Okay.
I'm Donna Fuller from 5857 Rosedale. My questions tonight will probably seem silly to some people, but when I'm watching the news, I'm like, oh my goodness. Nimishillen Township, are we okay having enough people to do our, snow plowing, and do we have enough salt? The reason I'm asking, how many people do we have that are full-time on the road department, and how many are, like, you know, come in and help
Right,
us
right.
through
Jamie?
the snow?
We have 4 full-time employees and 2 part-time,
To plow.
yeah.
So 5 of them, yeah.
No, 6.
Because last year we
6.
got lucky, 6.
Yeah.
Last year we got lucky, we only had 2 big snowstorms, but this time, who knows? And I know Jamie does a good job, but I just,
We got
when
salt.
watching TV,
We got
I
plenty
wondered
of
if
salt.
we had the
Salt
salt.
from the-
Yeah.
We doubled our capacity. We only had 450 ton in our old salt bin, which
Right.
Jamie had said we use 600 ton for a mild winter. So
Yeah.
our new salt shed, we have 750, so
750.
we're good.
They were
Good
big.
to go then.
Just rolled away.
Yeah. Okay, and then I have another question. Who do we call and who are we speaking to? I read the paper, but I had so much going on with my husband passing that I didn't keep up with things. Who is our secretary and who do we call to find out, to leave questions of what we want? Is it, the zoning man or is it Sandy?
Well, it depends what you want, so if you questions with zoning
Zoning,
and
right.
general office, it'd be Sandy, right? And then if it's fiscal, Todd's
Fiscal,
assistant
yeah.
is Kelly. Kelly.
Yeah. Okay, are they all full-time or part-time people? They just come in certain hours?
Mhm.
Part-time.
Sandy's
So
part-time,
it's just,
she's part-time, and then Kelly's full-time, right, Todd? 4 days a week?
Yeah,
yeah.
she's not full-time, she does like 32 hours a week.
Yeah.
30.
So then we can call, you know, and we can get somebody,
Mhm.
yeah. Because when I called and I got that answering system, I didn't even ask the question to or even
Yeah.
talk to. Another question I have, whatever happened, there was a gentleman that came in and he was speaking to us about spraying, that they were gonna spray the trees. That concerned me because I have a pet and I have a well. Would that spray hurt our,
Well, I made some phone calls, and then Jan, we got
You found out
information, and
things
then he
for
made
us?
some calls.
Well, I made some calls, but I haven't gotten any calls back, so I don't have any information.
same for me?
Yeah, I called, did you talk to AEP then?
Yes.
Yeah, and they still, we don't have. we're not-
Yeah, I talked to the lady that was taking the calls, and she was gonna forward them to the forestry division, and someone was to call me back. No promise when.
Yeah,
Yeah. I ran into the same problem.
I know a girl that works there,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I don't know, yeah, and Jan was saying they injected it in the ground, that's what kind of made all of us a little bit
Well,
skeptical.
I have a well and I have the dog and personally, I didn't like it.
Thank you,
Thank
Donna.
you.
Next up, Kyle Hosnight.
Oh, well, I live at 6300 Apple Street. So, actually, I have a couple questions from the special meeting you guys had. Why is it not open to the public to host things at fire departments? I mean, our tax dollars do pay for it. Why not
It was open to the public.
No, you're talking about you're talking about
for rentals?
facility, right?
Yeah, for the facilities and things like that.
Yeah.
Why don't we rent it out and make money? And I mean, cause it can go all towards the fire department, help improve things, et cetera.
Yeah, you weren't at the meeting, were you?
No.
The special meeting? I don't know if anybody wants to talk about it or not. What we did kind of talk about was the fact that that fire department has the ability of a lot of different doors and different ways to get into ambulances. They're all parked there, they have drugs in them, so it becomes a liability issue there. We did talk to our legal counsel, and they said maybe if we had more of a town hall, maybe a building like this, but then this building here, the septic system is not big enough to have gatherings here. We're only allowed with our current septic system to have 2 people here full-time and then 2 meetings a month, or something like that, to that effect. Yeah, so Rich can elaborate there a little bit as well.
Also, we got in touch with our insurance company, And they can't tell us yes or no to do something, but they can highly suggest whether we do it or not. And they highly suggest we did not allow for private parties in our fire stations. So, Rich, if you want to add to that?
No, those are all factors, and then we also have the DEA licensing, so we have a responsibility to keep that secure, and there's no way to secure it from the general public in that building. And that building was not designed nor purchased with funds to be used as a public meeting room. So, and I use the example as the sheriff's department. You can't walk into the sheriff's department and use his rooms, even though it's a public building, it was, you know, paid for with tax dollars. Fire stations and police stations fall, you know, in a different realm.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, when someone says, hey, I just wanna do something good for the community, it sounds, yeah, why not, right? And then cause I had thought about it, and I thought, wow. And then whenever you started hearing all the different points of view, and I guess that's why you have a meeting to hear the different points of view, and to figure out, make your decision based on those points of view, and it was a pretty easy decision once you know, everybody talked about it.
Okay. So, the text messages then, that you guys had all sent, I requested. We allow for firefighters to come in, bring their families, et cetera. They are township employees, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about, bringing in.
Like, what,
They're in the hall.
in the text message, he said, you know, like Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving, et cetera, they allow people to bring their families in, et cetera. That's still liability. That's the same thing as Jeff, he's a township employee.
Well, it's a supervised event, and we're not talking a big gathering, we're talking husband and wife maybe come down, or the kids come down, because they are gone on the holidays. And we've only done it as a courtesy. It doesn't happen all the time, but they are permitted to do that.
Well, it is.
But it's supervised, so you have a
It's still a
firefighter.
liability anytime
It's still-
someone.
No, it doesn't,
I know
they're
it's
not gonna
liability. I
let.
have an insurance license from the state of Ohio.
Okay, but when I talked to the insurance company that pays our bills, they said that wasn't the same as renting the building out to the general public unsupervised.
Did he try to rent it, or did?
Using it. That's the point. It's
Still
just like our
separate.
pancake breakfasts. Those, you have the general public in, but it's supervised. We're not letting people roam.
We're still
the
held
ambulances.
reliable, though. As a township, you're still
But
held reliable.
Your insurance company isn't saying that was the issue. They're not. People do the open houses all the time for firefighters, and it's supervised. We take all the steps that we need to make sure we're not people roaming around the buildings, or, you know, they're not getting into the ambulance and getting into the drug boxes and that kind of stuff. No different than we go to the schools. We let kids go through, but it's supervised. So if we were to strip all those educational things away, I don't know that that's doing a good service to your community.
I just feel like there's a lot of, the way I felt like, the way it was come off in the meeting, it just felt like it was very like one-sided, like it's only what we wanna approve, not what anyone else wants to approve. That's just the way it seemed.
But understand those restrictions are placed on me.
No, and I understand that.
This
And-
board trusts. that we're
And no,
gonna make
and
sure
I
that-
don't think that you're doing anything wrong. I think you have done wonderful as a fire chief. I mean, there's a ton that you do. So by that, no, you're great at what you do. I just wanted to ask and clarify because I watched, you know, the video just like everyone else, so I'm gonna ask questions.
Sure.
So, all right, and on to you. You're up for election next year, correct?
Yes, you know I am.
Okay. What have you done in your, 3 years now, almost 4, for this township?
Is your 5 minutes up for now, Kyle, for your questions and answers? We're not gonna make this into a political evening, which you're planning on running, I know that. So let's keep it professional. Please sit down. Thank you.
Wow. I don't want to answer questions for the people.
Please sit down, thank you.
All right.
All right, moving on. Zoning, Jeff, you're up.
Number 11, resolution, accept the December 8, 2022 zoning report.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
And 12, accept the November 2022 monthly auditor report.
Motion to approve?
Second.
A motion and a second. Voting, please.
Jennifer?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
We have number 13, update on 5616
What's the latest update on that, Jeff?
Well, everything should be put onto a Google Doc, and with Sandy, we are very good at doing that. Anything comes in,
You guys logging in?
I tried.
Oh, come on.
No, the first one opened for me, but
It's
this
hard.
latest one, it didn't open
Yeah.
for some reason.
You have to go through a setup.
And I'm always on my phone,
Right.
so I don't know if the phone, you know, it's
It
hard to
sent
get.
me something and I approved it.
Okay,
So did you try to go back in and all?
yeah.
It's still not doing it?
It
I'll
did,
try to
but-
resend
But
it.
then the first one we did like a week or two
Yeah.
ago, and I got it popped right open, so,
All right, I'll try to send it to you again. yeah.
Sometimes from the phone it won't.
yeah.
But you should be able to get into any of them you were in before. I just sent it when there's a new one.
Okay.
But has that owner gotten back with you, Jeff? We sent him a letter about appealing. Has he done anything?
Yeah, they didn't stop by and talk to him about it, but we went by the other day and there's no trailers out there.
Well, when he leases
Done it a
them,
couple of times.
he leases them and they go out, then the lease is done and they come back and sit in his driveway.
I'm gonna sit out there 24 hours a day waiting to see what's.
Well, when I went by, I just say,
Really?
I feel it's time we pull the trigger. This guy's kind of been back and forth with us for
Yeah,
a
has
while.
he responded to
Since
the letter or
spring.
anything?
Pardon?
Has he responded to the letter?
No, there's been no response, you know what I told them about, but I did go check, make sure that all of our parking spaces are open and everything. Make sure that this space is right, yeah, like I said, I drive by there and I don't see anything, I'm thinking, he's moving,
Yeah, you sent us the photos and there was nothing.
there's nothing there.
Well, last
Now
time.
there's a trailer in the next door neighbor's
So,
yard.
it comes and goes.
Yeah, it does.
When he leases them out, they're gone. When the lease is over, they're back. He's using that for his storage in his girlfriend's house.
There's trailers all over that street.
Oh,
And you
there
know
is,
this-
and that ain't helping.
No,
That's
I think
impressive.
everybody's going, he's doing it, I'm doing it. Yeah, I know.
We got a problem with our zoning that we need to wait on, in the zoning board, the commission board already knows about it. And it's that one word, recreational trailers. And I told Reagan about it last night, and he told me, flat out, do not do anything if you don't have it in here, don't just make that program around.
Right,
And I'm not doing that, you know, I mean, that's a hardship on the trustees, and, sorry, you know.
Well, I
we
was,
have a lot of stuff.
I was by there, and there was like 3 there, and then
When was that?
it's been.
I saw the same day because there was
Yeah.
a couch in the, it looked rough. And then the next time everything was gone, so.
I drive by there.
I know.
I went by there today with somebody.
I know.
It's hit or miss because he's running the business, and as he rents them, they're gone when they come back.
Well,
Are
we
you guys
should-
in
we
favor of pulling the trigger?
Well,
I
it's-
think we
it's-
should send another letter because the problem is we have to pay an attorney to send the letter. And we can't, like he said, we can't have criminal, like we can't take them to court over it, correct?
Over a zoning matter?
Right.
Well, you can choose either a criminal case or a civil.
What code are you gonna use? What are you gonna do? Just-
I don't wanna spend money when there's not gonna be no productive
Right,
outcome.
right, I get you. And maybe they didn't respond because he just decided to move things somewhere
Right.
else.
Yeah, you know, with send letters and stuff, yeah, I was gonna run up there to see if he isn't up at, Mrs. Fry's, to see if he did that. And then I got another place that he can get to.
Yeah, you kind of give him ideas where he could
Yes.
store things.
Yeah, there's a couple ways, and there's other people that I've told, you know, go up there and grab that before they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, winter's coming, they might not use the trailers as much, but I expect them to be gone.
Okay,
That's what I'm looking at.
all right.
Because we don't have any code that says you can't have, commercial trailers in the front, you know?
Yeah, there's a place, honestly, right up the road from the Township garage. They got 5 big, those gator trailers. So I mean, there's.
And now we're choosing one person that we're gonna,
No,
Not
we need
come
to
with a
enforce
code,
it,
take
but
out.
we gotta kind of look around. If, we gotta get the code going, if we don't have
And you
it.
gotta be cognizant of the neighbors too, the other
Right.
people in the neighborhood, you know, when they got trailers coming up and down the road, or in a business out of it.
we actually have a code book that says on, dwelling, single family can't have more than 5 people in the house.
Right.
I'd say that to you,
Yeah, mine are all related, that's the problem.
No, it actually has it in there, we don't know how to make it in there, but.
Yeah,
That's
on
from the
zoning
way
book.
back time
Yeah.
machine.
1960s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot to do with that zoning resolution. that
Right.
changes that.
And I know you guys were, I watched the meeting that he posted, and he talked about going through the book again and making some updates.
I'm telling you, you can't believe that stuff that's in there. And
Okay,
I don't wanna just go and just do stuff to people when there's.
no, I get it, yeah, we gotta get cognizant of everybody involved, like Jen said, due process, and so we'll do a drive, we'll kind of keep an eye on it, and, you know, keep driving by there.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're spinning our wheels. Okay, on to 14, Jeff.
No, that's it.
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jenny,
Wait there. Yeah, I'm sorry.
make a resolution number 14 to adopt the updated Stark County multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
Second?
Yeah, motion and second, voting please.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution to approve the annual payment to the zoning board members in the total amount of $4,400 as submitted.
Second?
Motion and second, voting please.
Yes.
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 Number 16, I make a motion to approve improvements to the alarm system at 4915 North Nickel Plate not to exceed $1,000.
Second?
And a motion and second, voting please.
Yes.
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 I'm gonna skip over 17 for right now, but let's hit 18 real quick. Motion to accept a quote from Great American Financial Services to terminate agreement for the copier located at 4915 North Nickel Plate, Louisville, Ohio, 44641, and return the equipment.
Second?
And a motion and second, voting please.
Yes.
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 Number 19, do you want to speak on that? Is that,
Sandy trying to put that
yeah,
together.
Christina, did you put that 19 together, the open road permit?
Yes, yeah, I did.
So, we need a fee in that, or we just, what are we talking about right there on number 19?
As it is written, and I said, you know, in the email that we could make some changes and updates to it, there is a fee in there. And, I also sent you an email with fees from, other townships around here. And my suggestion to you was to make it just a standard fee. And right now, our standard fee is like $50, and it seems like most of the townships around us were $75. So I thought that might be a reasonable fee to have for it, but the big issue with the new road opening permit is we really need to have somebody who's doing a road opening in our township submit a bond or deposit with the fiscal officer so that if they don't fix the road correctly, that we have recourse to go back and take care of. And that's
And
what the big thing
was it Lexington that had a minimum of $5,000 bond
Yes,
on
yes.
every one?
And I like that too, that was
Yeah.
a lot smoother and easier, you just do 5,000 unless it would be a huge project, it would go over a certain amount. Then the fiscal office doesn't constantly have to be looking at what 15% of it is or whatever, you know, the cost of it. It'd be $5,000 bond or deposit, straightforward, and then it was a bigger.
$50 fee or whatever.
Right, and then it would get released once Jamie approved the work was done correctly. He would say it has been, and then the fiscal office could come to the board and say, I'd like to release the bond.
Release the bond.
You're gonna have to have somebody check it though, you know, the problems we've ran into, so.
Right.
Yes, the road
Jamie or whoever.
superintendent would be in charge of going out and approving it before.
Yeah, and then relay it to us, and then we give you.
Yeah,
the
you just have to
okay
make
do
sure
that.
that that's all done, you know, and checked the right way.
So on this number 19, is it better that we bring, before we adopt the, you know, $50 or 75? I'm fine with 50, I think that's a fair amount, but I think the bond issue should be put in place.
I agree.
Oh,
And I think maybe we just copy Lexington, change a couple words on there, and do we have that put together before we go ahead and vote on it?
It's not a big deal if you want to put it off like maybe till the organizational meeting. I think it would be nice to start 2023 with the new form.
Okay,
But, yeah, we can put the wording together so you know exactly what you're approving instead of approving something that we're still working on.
okay, let's do that and bring it to the organizational meeting and use Lexington's as a template, if everybody's okay with that.
I am.
yeah, oh no, that's a good idea.
Okay. Number 20, discuss the organizational meeting for January 2023. You guys got your
We
calendars?
meet on the 12th, I wanna just come in an hour early and do it all one evening.
I don't know if we can.
I know, I always feel like we're
We have
rushed.
to
Can we
do it.
do that? Oh,
We
wait,
could do it like the 5th or the 6th, the week before. What's that noise?
Sure, I think.
Sounds like
You wanna meet
Frogger
during,
game.
you wanna meet like during the day, like 10 o'clock?
I can do whatever.
We have the BZA and ZC meeting in first of the week.
The first Tuesday and Wednesdays.
Yes.
Here,
Yes.
okay.
So we'll have to.
But yours is in the evening.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll meet during the day. You if it's okay. What about you, Todd? Would you
Yeah.
be all right?
It's good.
You wanna do like a 10 in the morning, or you wanna
10's
do a
good.
noon?
Yeah,
10?
10's good.
You think?
10 or
Yeah,
noon, I
that's
mean,
good.
either works for me.
You wanna do, let's just do noon, that way people
Okay.
can do some work in the morning.
Yeah.
We'll kinda work through lunch or whatever. I'm okay with any day that, well, I'll be out of town until the 3rd, so you wanna do the,
Fifth or sixth
you
works.
wanna do the 10th?
That works too,
How about January 10th?
That's fine.
It's good.
perfect.
I make a motion to schedule the 2023 organizational meeting for January 10th, 2023 at 10 a.m. at 4422 Maple Grove Fire Station. That's 10 a.m.
You wanna do noon or 10?
Oh, I'm sorry, noon, yes.
Noon.
I
Okay.
just told you noon. At 12 o'clock, 12 noon on the 10th.
High noon.
High noon. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay, second, voting please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Discussion, waste hours, you know anything about?
Oh, Jen, you,
Those guys called Earth and Wood, they usually close, and then we can't pick up like after, around the 15th, but I wanted to see if Jamie, if he wanted to go ahead and maybe close it Sunday the 8th.
That sounds good.
I think people should have
Give
their
them
trees down and
Couple
dumped.
weeks to get their Christmas trees down,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
okay. I make a motion to close the yard waste effective Sunday, January the 8th, 2023, end of the day, right? We're open on Sunday. Are we open on Sunday?
10 to 4.
So after the 4 o'clock hour.
Second?
We got a motion and second, voting please.
Yes?
George?
Yes.
Yes.
One more thing before we leave, I mean, what the fee schedule for the township? I handed that off to one of the trustees, I don't know if one of
Oh.
Remember we talked about?
We talked about changing some of them.
Yeah, I need to get that back before the first year, so we can bring that in with our zoning book and stuff.
Okay.
Well, I tell people to wait until we figure out the fees and then.
Without seeing the money, can we even approve it? We don't know. what
Yeah, I
to
mean,
approve it.
bring us a list of,
I already gave the list.
I don't have
It
it.
wasn't me.
Do you remember that?
I gave it to somebody about 8 months ago.
We can, do we have it on the computer, we can email it to
I have
them?
another copy.
Just email, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
know I gave it
I
to-
approved we went over the last
You-
one we approved.
yeah. Yeah, you and I did it for this year.
Right,
Yeah, and I handed it to another trustee for next year, so.
it's possible.
I can give you it again.
Yeah.
Okay,
We need to go back to 17,
Right.
talk about this adjustment for Corey Down. Yep. Any discussion on that?
I'm
Did you talk to?
good with the numbers.
I talked to Jim about it. I mean, this is the issue that resulted as not, you know, at our organizational meeting, which I did not attend. That's where we did not approve the pay raises. So I talked to the state auditor, and the state auditor made it very clear that he thought we would be cited if we didn't do it the right way. So my suggestion when you guys came in was that we coordinate with the state auditor, make sure he's okay with it. I talked to Jim, and Jim seems to think everything will be okay. But I want to make sure I've worked hard to form a good relationship with our state auditor, and it's a lot better than it's ever been, and I just want to try to keep it that way.
Sure.
I'm not saying this shouldn't happen. I just
Right,
want
right.
to do it in
No.
coordination with
Right, we
with
want to
them.
make sure it's done the right way. And Jim, you feel it's, do we,
Yeah, you're not contesting, you're not challenging the finding of 1102, and the 1102 will be paid back in its entirety, correct?
Correct.
And satisfactory proof of that will have to be delivered to the collection arm of the state, not the state auditor, but the collection arm, which is through the Attorney General's office. I would recommend that whatever withholding documentation there is to date showing what Corey has paid be transmitted to me, and then that Corey be requested to make a final payment of whatever balance is owed, and then some evidence of that be given to me, presumably a copy of his check. And then I can deliver that to the AG's office to close out the finding. So while there is indirectly a connection between the motion that you're having under consideration and the finding from the prior dates, and I don't recall exactly what period of time was covered by the finding. I'm sure it was your past biennial audit period.
It was.
Yeah, so it's really a distinct period of time. Otherwise, it's very clear from the AG opinions that I cited in your resolution that you do have the authority to control salaries and benefits, and that's very clear in the code. And that authority has been interpreted as including the authority to give retroactive pay adjustments if in your discretion you want to do that. And it's my understanding the suggestion of paying Corey 1102 is out of that authority to pay him. There would essentially be a retroactive adjustment for this year. You're not going back and trying to change any of the years covered by the biennial audit. And in terms of the rationale or reason you're doing it is simply in recognition that there was confusion over what happened in the overpayment and the audit. You want to keep a good working relationship with this employee, correct?
Correct.
And that's why you're looking at making this adjustment for him.
And I did take it to the auditor, but he wasn't pleased, as you saw with the emails I sent. So I
Well,
don't know
that
that
was-
he'll actually ever give us his blessing.
He, as I recall, the earlier conversation was couched in terms of whether it looks like there's some effort to reopen the old matter.
Right,
Right, we're not looking to do that.
right,
The old matter's dead, it's finished, and it's going to be closed.
right.
It's going to be closed by a payment being made by Corey to the township for the 1102, and it'll be documented, and I will confirm it to the AG's office. And that's it.
So Jim, is there a reason why we wouldn't just ask the auditor for that before we made that action? I guess that's my
Yeah,
question.
I can tell you that from my experience, the auditors are not in the business of giving advisory opinions on what to do or what.
They
not
are
to do.
now. They've changed that actually.
Well, they have no business, in my view, giving
Well,
an
that's your
advisory
opinion.
about a discretionary exercise.
I don't wanna argue
by
with you, Jim,
board.
about opinion. They give their opinion, and that was something that changed this past year, so that's,
So the
you're not correct when
I
you say
actually
that.
The auditors
met
don't
with the
run your
auditor, and he would
discretion.
not give me any advice. I gave him 10, I have the email saying it's a management position, refer to your management.
That's it.
And I had 10 questions. He wouldn't give me an answer. He said, it's to us.
Oh.
So I would like to.
So in layman's terms, just so everybody's on the same page, because I see a lot of these people looking around going, what are we even talking about? We overpaid him
No.
in the state's eyes, right?
What the
But-
state
but
didn't
in
recognize
fact-
because we didn't attach the pay rates for each person
Yep.
with our organizational meeting because they get their raises in August. So when we attach that at the organizational meeting, it has the fire chief, it has it has everybody but the road department. Then, so there was no record that the auditor could go back and say, well, on this date, you approved him for $18.51 an hour. And because of the probation, is the first 6 months, they make 50 cents less, then in the next 6 months, it's 25 cents, or I forget what it is.
That's exactly it.
There, he didn't have the proper starting date, so when he did his calculations, he was going off of bogus numbers.
Right.
And Kelly, in fact, was correct originally with the calculations,
Right.
because Sandy and I, there was a couple dollars in each instance, but basically it was
Yeah,
correct.
so the auditor thought we overpaid him $1,100, but in actuality, we were
It was
within,
correct.
within pennies.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, if I just, what happened is we hired him in July. And so by resolution, when we hire, we put in the start amount. And we put in the start amount for a probation employee that was hired on that date in July. His first day of work was like July 30th or something like that. And his raise kicked in August 1st with the new, contract. But, like she's saying, there was nothing on the audit to show that that pay raise kicked in because that sheet wasn't attached.
Right.
Although it was part of the signed contract, the auditor didn't have it. So we were supposed to pay him that amount according to the contract. The auditor just doesn't see that.
Right.
So,
Where everybody was right, but nobody was wrong.
Exactly, and so when we
Makes
do our
sense.
organizational meeting this year, we must list out, so we don't have confusion going forward,
Right.
that they can see, yes, they started at this rate,
Yeah.
then they were
We
increased.
gotta just pinpoint their pay rates as of
Right.
January 1.
well, as of August 1st.
Well, yeah, the contract dates, yeah.
Well, again, this is getting confusing, okay? You are going to want to make sure that effective January 1, it's documented in your resolutions or your minutes what these employees are getting paid,
Absolutely.
period.
And
Yeah.
the statement.
Don't reference your contract dates or when they come up or when they go down. Because the audit is going to be a biannual audit. And if they're gonna say the same gap, if there's nothing documenting it in January 1,
Yeah,
there's gonna be the gap from whatever the contract period is to the next year.
right,
And they're gonna say these people are being overpaid.
yeah.
They're not being overpaid because your contract says you need to pay them that.
Right,
But your record, your journal isn't coinciding with the time.
right.
Right.
And the auditor is not going to look at a fiscal period of any time, they're gonna look at the years.
Right.
So just,
January 1 to December
it's
30.
just a bit of confusion. In part, it's caused by that weird date in that
Right.
phase.
Now, would you recommend that in August, when the raises take effect, that we put that as a resolution, or we don't do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
the more you document, the better.
Effective August 1 or whatever the
Okay,
contract
perfect.
period,
Okay.
the rates for A,
So I'd
C,
like
D, and E go up to whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want.
Would it be better for us to do this before the end of the year, in your opinion?
Well, that will not necessarily matter because you can meet at your meeting on the 10th and memorialize what people are being paid for the year. And that is the calendar year starting January 1. So that'll be okay.
Okay.
It's kind of been in the works since June.
I'm talking about this issue.
Oh, yeah.
And is,
Can we do this now? Hey,
you can do it now or you can adjust his pay next year and it wouldn't even be retroactive at that point. But as I understand it, I don't wanna get into legal advice in the open meeting, but an issue to consider is the contract rates and how you can't change the contract rates, right? He's a union employee, so next year he's gonna be paid whatever the union contract says, right?
Right.
To make an adjustment that is adjusting the union contract rate, you would need a memorandum of understanding approved by the
Yeah, we don't want that.
union. And it's my understanding, it's just further complication trying to clean up a thing. To help an employee, square things up with him, keep goodwill with him, and keep a good employee happy.
Right.
That's your objective. So the simplest way is to simply recognize a one-time lump sum retroactive pay adjustment as authorized by not only the code and your discretion, but supported by the opinion from the Attorney General on 2 occasions.
Does he have to continue to pay that back first before we do that?
what we're gonna do is give him the lump sum, then he's gonna owe us the balance, he's gonna get a copy, clear it with the auditor, so it's all gonna be tied up in a,
With the objective of closing out that old matter,
Right.
right, done.
curing your employees' issues for this year,
Okay.
and January 1, 2023, moving on
Yeah.
nice and happy.
Oh, yeah, if we don't, my question is, so it says approved lump sum, don't we always?
Jen's
I have,
acknowledge
I have the
that?
language,
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that was prepared, that was open.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah, we just didn't wanna forget. So,
Gotcha.
I have a resolution, a motion for resolution for a retroactive lump sum pay adjustment for Corey Neff in the amount of $1,102 as written.
Motion, or second?
Motion and second, voting please.
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Yes.
I got one thing to before you close. We're getting more people that wanna do meetings, and wanna start doing, you know, the zoning boards and stuff like that, and with that little incident last year with, Bosley. I like the, trustees to do some resolution where the, cameras have to be shut off, there's no meeting going on. Okay?
I mean, when the meeting's done, it's
When the
not.
meeting's done, cameras off. Prosecutor Joel Booth said this is a good idea. And then I say that anybody that does run over, maybe fine them for it. I mean, make this, because when a meeting ends, people get up and start talking. That's privacy. You know, I don't want this to go away.
Jim, is that a legal thing?
I just think you're setting yourself up for a failure of a circumstance. I understand where the comment's coming from, but I don't think there's an absolutely clear delineation of the use of the room. There is clearly a delineation on when you open a meeting, when you close a meeting. I get that. But I think all of us sitting in here should not have a reasonable expectation of privacy just sitting here. If I wanted to turn to this person and start talking, and somebody wanted to turn around and start recording this, I don't know that the board has any authority to stop that or regulate it.
Maybe we could just give a warning that you're being recorded, so when the meeting adjourns, there's a chance, if you're having a side conversation, it may be recorded, just so it's a warning.
Yeah, I think,
You know,
It
cause
should
I
be
don't
moved-
think
it
we
should
could
be
pass a resolution,
Either
I
be
really
moved
don't.
somewhere or
Yeah.
handled elsewise.
Don't follow us out to the car, please.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you know, I mean.
well, I'd be curious what other, what other townships do.
Right, maybe we
I don't
can-
wanna invent the wheel here.
Me either.
Well, if it comes up to you, and you'll get recorded and put on that video.
Oh, I,
Then it'll probably, that's gonna be a problem, because
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna be talking
Right.
to somebody, you don't want anything.
well, everybody measure your words
Oh.
and look over your shoulder.
Everyone is expected to be, you know, an adult enough and control their own environment. It doesn't
But
mean
I get
any
the
of us are perfect
expectation,
at it.
once the meeting's end, if I'm like, hey Jamie, how's it going, you know, what are you doing tonight, and it's someday, yeah, you know, if you're having.
Each board can warn the people there what's,
I think
they're
we
getting
should.
paid, that's all.
And I have one more thing, you know, Karma, who, we have our insurance through, they have, we have the right to vote on board members for their board of directors, to vote for 2 candidates, Phillips, Cox, Joyce, Fetzer Martin, and Bradley Herman. I share these with the 2 trustees, and, you know, if they're okay, I make a motion that we go ahead and vote for Philip, Cox, and Joyce Martin. She's from Perry Township, and he's from Miami County and Monroe Township.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, voting please?
Yes.
Yes.
Don.
Yes. Got a motion for adjournment.
Second. Oh, you got anything?
Oh,
I didn't put my name on there.
sign up.
Do I need to?
Yeah, if you would, please.
I just wanted to publicly thank the road department and the crew did a fabulous job. They ditched out, along the lane and, I mean, it was, man,
Nice job.
nice job.
So you're
Take
naming
care,
your
take
address.
care of them guys. man.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, I'm very happy.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Yep.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Motion and
Yes.
second, voting please?
George?
Yep.
Don.
Yes.